Hello, this is a, quick little video you saw from a prior video that I had some liquid mercury out, and I was talking about taking macro reflective shots. Well, very few people actually consider macro photography. More and more people are discovering it. There are a lot of other avenues of fascinating photography, and one of them is reflective photography. Some of the most beautiful shots that I've seen, and some of my favorite shots myself that I've taken, have been scenic shots as reflected through pools of water, landscape shots through pools of water. Just think about reflective surfaces and trying to capture something else off of or through a reflective surface or even a transparent surface. One of the fascinating little devices, and they're rather cheap, that you can buy from China. You can get hyperbolic quasi-fisheye shots, and I've got a couple of these. They're little crystal balls you can buy from China, and they're fascinating to take shots with. Here's a beautiful landscape shot is taken through a crystal ball. You can order them from China. They're really neat photographic tools. These are some rather boring shots. I have a large collection of shells. Took these three shots among several about an hour ago. I just poured some liquid mercury. I don't recommend you doing that because it's dangerous to mess with, but toxic, of course, as well. Poured some liquid mercury into a iridescent half of a clamshell. I have a large collection of shells. Um, and this shot's really simple, and how it's done is I actually took an iPad image of the Earth and I hovered it upside down above the liquid mercury, and I properly positioned it, and it was ISO 200 f32 for 8 seconds using the D750 and Tachyna 100mm f2.8. And here's another shot I took also, and this is actually of the ferrocell invention of showing magnetic hypertrochoid as projected onto the liquid mercury and the iridescent shell. Rather some mundane shots, but the point is that you need to start thinking differently. I mean, start thinking, from an ant's perspective, and just start getting those fascinating shots that will fulfill your portfolio and make people's eyes pop, because they don't normally see, people just don't see shots like this, and other people, as is typical, people don't think of macro photography, and they're not used to seeing macro photography. They're far, far less inclined to actually see shots like this, because nobody thinks about taking reflective photography, or should I say very, very few, and this sort of fascinating view of different perspective of photography is something you need to consider about fulfilling out your portfolio or just being interested in. Here's another shot that I took just using another image, and of course the mercury acts like an aspherical lens element and distorts the projected image that's being reflected off of the liquid mercury. So the point of this is to start thinking about possibly taking reflections of things in pools of water after a rainstorm, fascinating macro shots using a drop of water that parabolically reflects the scenery around. Puddles of water, natural mirrors, and other things, and just start thinking outside of the box. And anyway, thanks for watching. As a little tip on just start to see different, and just stop thinking with your eye. Think about what sort of neat shot you could get if you laid down on your back and took a picture of a translucent object, from the perspective of an ant, or did a macro shot of a parabolic reflection of the scenery around you off of a water droplet, or a scenery of a beautiful rose is reflected in a puddle of water, after a rainstorm. Just interesting things that not only make beautiful photography, but will fulfill your portfolio. That if you're working on your portfolio, just stuff that people normally don't do, and it's a lot of fun too. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you later. Bye.